This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. So this is an interesting one. So as you know, we talked about motor yacht Dilbar. She's in Hamburg right now. She's been in dry dock since the sanctions were placed on Mr. Usmanov in March. And we've commented in the last few days that the vessel was being unwrapped and potentially moved to another location, being refloated and moved, towed by Lursen into a place to store it so they can use their dry dock. Interestingly, though, if you go on marine traffic and search for motor yacht Dilbar right now, it shows it as being in Olbia in Sardinia, but not in a marina in Olbia in Sardinia, but in somebody's back garden. Now, if you remember, if you watch the video Ghost Boat, I talked about another yacht, Predator, that the same thing had happened in that the vessel was showing as being in Sardinia, quite interestingly. So I would say that somebody has got hacked into marine traffic specifically, and they probably live in Sardinia. But the reason why I say they've hacked into marine traffic is because if you look for Dilbar on Vessel Finder or on Fleetmon, the vessel shows as being in Hamburg. Having said that, the vessel shows as being in Hamburg, but the AIS hasn't updated for 203 days, which makes sense because it was in the dry dock. But whatever shenanigans has gone on there with somebody, and marine traffic is not applying to the other site. So it's a hack into that site rather than using some sort of device to broadcast incorrect AIS data. So anyway, we'll move on. Okay, so the next story is motor yacht Galactica. Now, you might remember motor yacht Galactica Supernova. She's owned by Vaja Elekperov, the former owner of Heesen Yachts in the Netherlands. Now, he owns Supernova. He was also building a new vessel also called simply Galactica. Now, this vessel came into the news before the sanctions started because it got stuck under a bridge when they were trying to transport it out to the open ocean. Well, the vessel has had a name change. Now, that's kind of unusual. You only normally change the name of a vessel when it's sold. The new owner wants to call it something else. I have no knowledge or any information that suggests that this vessel has changed hands. So I think it's probably the name has been changed because of the situation, right? To try and make it go under the radar. So the vessel is currently at Icon Yachts in the Netherlands, and we contacted Icon and asked them if it was still blocked from leaving the Netherlands because it was detained because of the sanctions. Obviously, we've got no reply back from Icon Yachts. But yeah, so the vessel has changed names. Oh, I didn't say the name that the vessel had changed to, did I? So the vessel has changed names from Motor Yacht Galactica to Motor Yacht Genesis. So yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But like I said, it's currently at the shipyard in the Netherlands. And one more story before we go. So you remember motor yacht Axioma? This is the Russian-owned vessel that was arrested in Gibraltar. Now, we tracked this vessel when it was crossing the Atlantic, and surprisingly, the vessel docked in Gibraltar when it was meant to be going on to Turkey. And the vessel was arrested immediately as it arrived. The vessel's been there ever since. Well, it was actually seized. The vessel was seized by the Admiralty Court in Gibraltar because of an unpaid debt against the vessel. And the vessel is going to be sold next month in August. Now, it's interesting the way that they're going to do it. It's a one-day auction. It says sold as is and where is. So in other words, collection upon payment and no returns, right? So it's almost like an eBay advert. But yeah, they're going to sell it in a one-day auction, and whoever buys it, they buy it where it is. They have to go and get someone they have to get the crew to move it. Obviously, there's a crew on board. I don't know how many crew are on board, but there's enough crew on there to move the vessel. But they're buying it as is, and that's it. So that's going to be an interesting one. I'll be really intrigued to see how much this vessel sells for, if it sells. But I'm sure someone will buy it. What they'll do is they'll probably buy it. This is my opinion. They'll buy it. They'll take it to a shipyard somewhere. They'll put it inside for 3 years, paint it a different color, give it a different name, and then when it comes out, it will just disappear into the unknown, you know. That's my opinion. Maybe I'll be completely wrong. Anyway, I'll leave it there. If you've got any information about any of the stories or any other stories, please get in touch the normal way. You can get us through the About page of the YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, and you can get us on Threema. Scan the code here with your phone on Threema, or you can type in this code below here, and that will get you through to us. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell for future notifications. All right, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.